Good evening, folks, and welcome to another episode of What's Up with Michael Atencio. Tonight, we're going to be talking about a man who needs no introduction, Donald J. Trump. Now, as you all know, Donald Trump is currently running for president in 2024. And let's be honest, his behavior this time around has been nothing short of bizarre. I mean, we all know that he's never been the most stable of individuals, but this time around he's taken it to a whole new level. First of all, let's talk about his hate for the U.S. government. I mean, this is a man who is actively running to be the leader of this country, yet he seems to despise everything that it stands for. He's constantly tweeting about how corrupt and inept the government is, and how he's going to come in and clean house. But here's the thing, folks. Donald Trump was the president for 4 years. If the government is so corrupt and inept, then whose fault is that? It's certainly not the fault of the current administration. No, I think what we're seeing here is classic projection. Donald Trump knows that he was a terrible president, and so he's trying to deflect the blame onto the government as a whole. It's a classic Trump move, really. Whenever he's criticized, he deflects and blames someone else. He never takes responsibility for his own actions. But let's talk about some of the other bizarre things that he's been doing. For example, have you seen his rallies? They're like something out of a fever dream. He comes out on stage to the tune of God Bless the USA and then proceeds to rant and rave about everything under the sun. He spends more time talking about how unfair the election was than he does actually talking about his policies. And when he does talk about his policies, they're all over the place. 1 minute he's talking about building a wall. The next minute he's talking about how he's going to bring back coal jobs. It's like he doesn't even know what he stands for anymore. And then there's his behavior on social media. Now, we all know that Donald Trump loves Twitter. It's his favorite platform, and he's always been very active on it. But this time around, his tweets have taken on a whole new level of insanity. He's constantly tweeting about how the election was stolen from him. Even though there's no evidence to support that claim, he's also been tweeting some pretty wild conspiracy theories, like how the COVID-19 vaccine is actually a government plot to control people's minds. I mean, come on, folks. This is the kind of stuff that you expect to see on InfoWars, not coming from the President of the United States. And let's not forget about his obsession with the media. He's constantly bashing the fake news and the lamestream media, even though he himself is a media figure. He loves attention, but only when it's positive attention. If someone says something negative about him, he goes into full attack mode, and his attacks are always personal. He never attacks someone's argument. He attacks their character. It's a classic Trump move, really. When you can't win an argument based on the facts, attack the person making the argument. But perhaps the most bizarre thing about Donald Trump's behavior this time around is his obsession with his own image. He's constantly talking about how he's the most popular president in history and how he has the biggest crowds at his rallies. He's always bragging about his accomplishments, even though he didn't really accomplish much during his time in office. And he's constantly talking about how he's going to make America great again, even though he had 4 years to do that and failed. It's almost as if Donald Trump is living in a different reality than the rest of us. He's so obsessed with his own image and his own popularity that he's lost touch with what's actually going on in the world. And that's a dangerous thing, folks. We need a president who is grounded in reality, who can see the world as it actually is, not as he wishes it was. But unfortunately, I don't think we're going to get that with Donald Trump. He's too far gone, too wrapped up in his own delusions. And that's a shame, because we deserve better than that. We deserve a president who can actually lead us forward, who can unite us instead of dividing us. So what can we do about it? Well, I think the first step is to recognize that Donald Trump's behavior is not normal. It's not the behavior of a sane, rational human being. It's the behavior of someone who is deeply disturbed and disconnected from reality. And we need to call that out whenever we see it. We also need to make sure that we don't normalize his behavior. It's easy to get sucked into the drama of his rallies and his tweets, but we need to remember that this is not normal. This is not how a president should behave, and we need to hold him accountable for his actions. Finally, we need to vote. We need to make sure that we're not giving power to someone who is clearly not fit to lead. We need to make sure that we're electing leaders who are grounded in reality, who can see the world as it actually is, and who are committed to making things better for all of us. So let's keep our eyes open, folks. Let's stay vigilant. And let's make sure that we're not letting someone like Donald Trump take us down a dangerous path, because at the end of the day, the future of our country is at stake. And we need to make sure that we're doing everything we can to protect it. That's all the time we have for tonight, folks. Thank you for joining me on What's Up with Michael Atencio. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you next time.